How to Live Mortgage Free is Netflix's latest programming abomination. It's a show where property mogul and Sarah Jessica Parker afterbirth Sarah Beeny speaks to people who've managed to live mortgage free, and these people stare at you like the smug cum dumps they are and try and pass off that their new mortgage free home is all down to working hard and clever ingenuity and absolutely nothing to do with the fact that their dad died and left them a fuck ton of inheritance money. Wow, look at this house. That's fucking lovely. I bet she's got a mortgage on that. Oh, wait, she doesn't. I wonder how she managed that. Oh, I hope she tells me so I can do the same thing as her and finally live like her in an amazing house.
Oh, so I set up a business.
Oh, great. Well, I guess I'll just go and set up a business then, you wet wipe. One of the most reprehensible things this show does is that it pretends like wanting a small house to live in is just too much to ask in today's world. What they do instead is they show people living in camper vans and cardboard boxes, and instead of calling it for what it is, they call it a creative living space to make it sound all positive.
Anyone can live mortgage free if they really, really want to enough.
It sounds bold, but yes, they can. You might have to think outside the box, consider all sorts of craziness like shipping containers and other alternative building techniques. But yeah, anybody can do it. If you put your mind to it, with enough determination and ambition, anyone can become mortgage free.
Really? You mean to tell me that if I work really hard and I'm really determined and I really put my mind to it and I really, really want it, then one day, if I'm lucky, I might be able to live in a shipping container? Go fuck yourself, pal. Now, in every episode of the show, they have somebody who is trying to live mortgage-free. On this episode, it's Kimberly, a 29-year-old part-time model living in London with a rent of approximately £1 gajillion a month. She's decided that she doesn't want to live in this tiny little shit tip anymore, so here comes Sarah Beeny to rescue everything and save the day and let her live mortgage-free and happily ever after.
So this is my bedroom.
God, this is enormous.
Stop lying, Sarah. It's tiny and it's full of shit. Somehow, Kimberly has managed to save up 25 grand. What's she doing with the money? Is she buying a house up north? No, she's got a more clever idea.
I bought a boat.
Of course you fucking did. Despite not having any building experience whatsoever, Kimberly has decided that it's best to dump that £25,000 into buying some sort of weird Dutch barge that's going to live on a canal, and Sarah Beeny and her team of architects and designers are going to help her turn it into slightly less of a shithole than what it looks. Also, there's no way that all of this shit that she's got is going to all fit onto a boat, so I imagine that she's thought about this and decided how she's going to tackle this sort of problem.
So how are you going to fit the contents of your entire flat into a small boat?
It was at this moment he knew. He fucked up.
Clever storage.
Yeah, I'm going to imagine that you're going to have to give most of that stuff to a charity shop, which is ironic really, because that's where it looks like it fucking came from in the first place, Kimberly. So off they both go and look at this boat that she's bought, and for 25 grand you'd imagine it to be pretty fucking good. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's a lot of money to spend on a boat. It certainly won't be some floating barge full of shit that just looks completely uninhabitable and not fit for human purpose, and oh my good god, what the fuck is that?
Kimberly's barge will be classed as a continuous cruiser, meaning she must move it every 2 weeks. But for just 15 quid a week for the cruising licence, moving it is a minor inconvenience for a massive saving.
Yeah, I'm going to have to disagree with you there, Sarah. It sounds to me like it's a massive fucking inconvenience. How does she get her post? What about an Amazon delivery? Where does she say it goes to? Oh, just somewhere along the canal. I move every 2 weeks. Jesus Lord above.
Normal mod cons in a kitchen would be a fridge and a cooker and possibly a washing machine.
Yeah, no washing machine. And also, hopefully an underfloor fridge. So, as it will be really cold under there in the winter, might not have to have a fridge at all in the winter.
You mean just a hole in the floor, not a fridge?
Right then, so as well as not having a mortgage, you also don't have a fridge, a cooker, or a washing machine, or any fixed permanent address. You're basically living like some sort of floating gypsy. How is this a good deal again? How are you beating the system here? You're living like a homeless person. I honestly cannot get my head around how unfathomably shit this looks. For £25,000, you could have bought like a top-of-the-range caravan, like an RV or something. Instead, you've bought something that looks like something Rosie and Jim got molested on. Because it's becoming increasingly obvious that Kimberly hasn't got a fucking clue what she's doing, the show have hired this expert to come down and tell her just how fucked she is. Who the fuck walks like that? Anyway, this expert figures out pretty quickly that there is a bit of a problem here, and that's that you've got to do squat thrusts every time you want to get into the bedroom. Look at the state of that. Going to bed's like a fucking CrossFit challenge. Look at that. Still, it beats not having a mortgage.
And you've still got your deck area out here with this great view.
And what a great view it is. In fact, if you look closely, I reckon you can make out a couple of smackheads getting fingered in the distance. Jesus Lord above. Looks like a postcard for northern poverty. Just to have a quick break from the negativity, I love this shot of her painting the boat. It's not very often you get to see someone literally trying to polish a turd. And speaking of turds, if it isn't Mr. Let's all live in a shipping container if we're lucky, I wonder what he makes of this floating abortion.
Okay, this looks incredible. Oh, I love that smell. It smells boaty, doesn't it? Or diesely.
Diesely, yeah.
It is genuinely becoming harder and harder to work out whether or not this bloke's taking the piss. I thought you were meant to be an expert. Come on, help us out a bit. We're fucked here.
Okay.
Oh, I am absolutely shocked by how little space there is under there.
It is shallow, isn't it?
The good news is, if you've got anything that tall that you want to store in the cool, because actually it's quite cold down there, so I'm thinking white wine, potatoes even.
There really is nothing quite like the face of a woman that's wondering why the fuck she just spent 25 grand to store potatoes and white wine in her fucking floorboards. At the end of the show, you actually get to see what the finished product looks like. Now, this particular project took Kimberly 6 months, so let's have a look inside and see just how the boat turned out for her. What the fuck is that about? Is that her bathroom? Is that her toilet? No. Good God almighty in hell. She couldn't even afford a proper toilet. Looks like something that you'd sit on at your grand's house when you have Sunday lunch. Stop pretending like it's good. What are you doing? Also, why is the shower next to the toilet? Doesn't that mean every time you have a shower, the toilet's going to get piss wet through? How is this a solution? I'd sooner have a mortgage and be able to shit properly.
Kimberly's kooky yet cosy floating home really is fantastic.
Well, that very much depends on what you mean by fantastic. If you think it's fantastic to have no cooker, no washer, no fixed address, a bedroom that gives you a calf workout every time you try and go in, a kitchen where you've got to store vegetables in the floor, and a toilet that gives your arse splinters, then yeah, it's pretty fucking fantastic. But for me personally, I think I'd sooner stick with the mortgage.
Kimberly has achieved here in just 6 months with sheer determination, hard graft and a lot of imagination is truly inspiring. But I'm keen to know about the final budget.
So you had £25,000, you bought the boat for 18 and you had 7,000 left over to do it up. How much did you end up spending in total?
I spent 33,000.
It was at this moment he knew. He fucked up.